ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಜಾಗವನ್ನು ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೈವ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ತಪ್ಪಿದಾಗ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Hello, my name is Prateek and you are listening to Do I Like It, a Quint production where we review anything and everything under the sun. And in this episode, I'll tell you, do I like the Kannada film Kantara? In life, things happen. And even if nothing's happening, that's still something happening, right? So on this show, we talk about things that happen. We get an esteemed panel of highly jobless people to answer the million-dollar question. Do I like it? So, what is this film? Is it a dark social thriller or a mystical fantasy about a demigod or just a mass masala action flick? Well, the more I think about Rishab Shetty's Kantara, the more confused I get. When the film started, I was kind of rooting for the bad guy and pissed by the good guys. But what happened by the end that got me choked up, teary-eyed, with my hands joined in prayer? Let's find out. But before that, do check out more reviews from our show Do I Like It and other amazing podcasts on our website thequint.com/podcast or on your preferred podcast app. Now let's get into Rishab Shetty's Kantara. अब Kantara का मतलब होता है mystical forest. And this film is exactly that. Mystical, raw and very close to nature. In the 19th century, एक राजा होता है who is in search of inner peace. और हर जगह ढूंढने के बाद he comes across a stone, a deity of the local tribe, जिसके exchange में he gives the tribals a patch of land in the forest. Now, years later, the king's descendants want this land back. During the local ritual of Bhutakola, a theatrical prayer to their deity, the king's descendant mysteriously dies, barring anyone else from even thinking of wanting the land back. अब इस इंसिडेंट के 25 साल बाद हमारी असली कहानी शुरू होती है. शिवा तुम्हारा हाथ? Not that Shiva is a typical गांव का छोकरा. He drinks, smokes marijuana, hunts and works for the local landlord as a small-time sidekick. So the basic plot revolves around how Shiva realizes his potential to become the eventual protector of his tribe. Now, as an atheist, I really like films about God and belief in the supernatural. I do not personally believe in it, but the passion that some people have for their creator, I really love that. It's almost as if for that small duration, I can sense this connection to a higher power. It's a magical feeling when done right. And boy, did this film do it right. The film rests on the shoulder of its creator Rishab Shetty, the writer, director and lead actor. He plays Shiva, not that Shiva, with a sense of dekh lenge attitude that is expected of a chosen one character type. He's not serious in life, but then something happens and he's forced to take charge. And not to make light of this scene, he even shadows a woman who later falls in love with him. And why I'm saying all this is, your central coming-of-age character doesn't always have to be a, ekdam virtuous, dukhiara, orphanage-running vanilla character, as he was in a recent film about a superhero in Indian mythology, Brahmastra. While both films are tonally different from each other, I couldn't help but see this comparison. It's almost like Kantara is the Brahmastra we deserved but didn't get. The two Shivas even have similar nightmares which help bring the plot forward. And even though Kantara is an intense social thriller about class, caste and land ownership, it never lets it take over the masala-ness of it. It has all the check marks of a mass entertainer. The slow motion, hero ki entry, the romantic song, hero's friends who bring comic relief, all that. Everything is on point. Except for the weird romantic track though, that I would say went a bit too easy. And as a side note, why do filmmakers in 2022 want to show a romance between two people where it starts, then they have a meet cute and there's ladki ka sharmana, there's chup chup ke milna. Matlab, don't you guys think it's done to death? Why can't we just have a couple who've met and romanced before the film starts? Because the conflict here is really nice. Does Leela, Shiva's girl, does she save her tribe? Or does she follow her duty as a forest guard? मतलब काफी intense conflict है, but the writing just doesn't give chance for this conflict to grow because hero heroine का गाना भी तो दिखाना. But I'd say that other than this nitpick, I think the film is extremely engaging. The subtitles do make it a bit overwhelming at first, but अब तक तो हमें फटफट से ऊपर नीचे पढ़ने और फिल्म देखने की आदत हो गई है. And also I'm hearing that they are re-releasing the film in other languages, so I mean that's your chance to watch it. But even in the original audio, the film uses such mesmerizing sound and imagery that after a point, subtitles seem like they're getting in the way of enjoying the film, which is weird because I don't speak a word of Kannada. So please guys, itni engaging mat banao picture ki banda subtitles hi padhna bhul jaye. Now let's talk about the scene from the movie. No, it's not the crazy marijuana fight sequence, and it's not Shiva's introduction during the Kambala race. And it's also not the scene where Shiva, a tribal, enters the house of an upper caste landlord and sits on his table as an equal. All of this is mid when compared to the climax. And if you have not watched the film yet, you might want to check back later because a spoiler warning is in effect. Okay, so our hero, Shiva, not that Shiva, is down, almost dead. And then his father, a Bhutakola performer, a demigod, speaks to him. All his nightmares come to life, and that loud scream jolts him to realize his place as his tribe's protector. And he kills everyone in his path to protect his land. At this point, I had my hands joined in prayer, just marveling at the sheer beauty and scale of the visuals in front of me. And I don't mean scale in a Avengers kind of way. I'm talking about the emotional and spiritual scale of the visuals. When Shiva eats the offering given to him, it's as if it's only now that his hunger to find himself has been quenched. It's storytelling at its sharpest. So when this film comes out on OTT, I actually don't know whether I'll watch the whole film again or not. But this sequence, dude, I've already seen this like 50 times on a pirated version on YouTube. Because the visuals just don't leave you. That neurotic dance with the music, with the whoa wala scream connecting the father and son. I mean, it's just something else. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it right now. And I don't even want to talk about the conclusion of who is the real bad guy, because at this point, the film ceases to be just a story about good versus evil. For me, it became a ritual in itself, and the nitty-gritties of the story, camera, dialogues just don't matter. I know that in a review I should be talking about these aspects, but imagine karo, when a film that starts like just another Pushpa or Rowdy Rathore ends up becoming as impactful as a ship of Theseus. Light, sound, etc. तो भाई याद ही नहीं रहता. But not to say that they are bad in any way. The music by B. Ajneesh Loknath gives this film the sonic grandeur that Arvind Kashyap's visual demand. Everything works in tandem in service of Kantara, the mythical forest. Not just the film, the actual forest and its world. So do I like Kantara? Hell yes. And not just because it's a good film that entertained me. That though it did for sure. But because it introduced me to folklore and such a new, vibrant culture of the Tulunadu region. Please watch this film in theaters. Try karna ki Kannada audio ke saath hi dekho. But if you don't want to read so much, it's playing in Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam. So make sure that you catch it in a theater because I swear you will not be disappointed. And that was all about Kantara. Let me know, how did you like Rishab Shetty's performance in the film? I personally thought that he literally killed it, dude. Matlab, writer, director, actor, and all of the stuff that these new guys are doing in the Kannada industry, it's just really exciting. So DM us on Instagram at the Quint and check out thequint.com/podcast for other amazing podcasts like Urdu Nama and News and Views. This was Prateek, and I'll see you in the next one. Do I Like It is a Quint original podcast executive produced by Shelly Walia and Ritu Kapoor. This episode was hosted and edited by Prateek Lidhu, produced by Anjali Palod. The episode uses audio from the film Kantara and theme music from BMG Production Music. You were listening to the Quint's podcast.